After drone attack on facilities in Yelabuga and Nizhnekamsk, the head of Tatarstan urged local authorities to defend their facilities against drones by themselves.
We should not wait for missile defense to work. It solves other problems. We have to solve our own problems. Every enterprise, every community, every city. Wake up, guys. No one will protect us but ourselves. Rustam Minikhanov, head of Tatarstan, from the publication in Idei Realii.
The head of Tatarstan did not specify exactly what tasks the Russian air defense systems are fulfilling, neither did he specify how enterprises and towns should repel drone attacks. Experts note that the recent strike on facilities in Tatarstan demonstrated the failure of Russia's defense. After all, the target of the UAVs in Nizhnekamsk was the Tenneco refinery, the third largest oil refinery in the country, and the Yelabuga Polytechnic, where students assemble drones under the guise of training practice.
Among other things, students complain about the conditions in the dormitories, that the work is very hard. In fact, it is a very dangerous, toxic production. People have to be employed for 12 hours for 2 days in a row, then 2 days of rest. And during these 2 days there is study either remote or offline. At the moment of mobilization, Yelabuga realized that in order to avoid mobilization of its employees, they needed to take a small state defense order, which turned into a full-fledged deal with Iran. And now we see what is happening. Alexander Savelyev, journalist, in an interview with Radio Liberty.
Even students from Africa are attracted to drone assembly in Russia. They are being recruited through dating websites. They are offered work on the basis of a college. They do not explain what products they will be making. They say you will be assembling something, the production is non-toxic, and you will be given protective equipment. The mood of those working at Yelabuga Polytechnic after the drone attack was described by journalists.
The attack happened and they said goodbye and left to one of the nearest big cities. I don't know if they are going to return or not, but at least they declare their unwillingness to return because they were not protected and they have a very strong fear.
The Russian authorities are not planning to protect their citizens. This was more sharply felt in Belgrade. Local officials promised to buy at least sandbags, but instead they bought souvenirs worth 1 million rubles.
There is no money for the emergency response regime in the region. The emergency regime, which has been introduced in a number of villages in some border settlements, involves evacuating people and providing them with housing. In fact, it is a replacement, let's say, of the house in the village where a person lived, with a flat somewhere in the region. The authorities simply do not have the money for this. It is a huge amount of funds. Nikita Parmenov, journalist from Belgrade, in an interview with Radio Liberty.
More and more Russians realize that the real situation in the state is far from the picture on TV. For example, PS public opinion researchers note that even citizens loyal to Putin, when asked about the future of the federation, describe a course that is completely opposite to the current one.
We need a president who would deal with his own country, his own problems, not global ones. For example, the Ulyanovsk region or the Kurgan region, how the people live there, and we are going somewhere far away. We have half the country without sewerage, with a toilet on the street in an old town. But for them it's not necessary, not interesting. From the insider quoting the results of the PS Lab poll.
Researchers say that most of their interlocutors from various regions of Russia have no illusions about the economic and political situation in the country. They want the authorities to focus on healthcare, education, housing and utilities, and pension reform, not war. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Hranovska, UATV News.